Welcome back to Scooter Gang, guys. Today we're going to talk about the scooter industry in general, just for beginners if you don't know how it all works. And then I'm going to talk more about what I think the biggest problem is with the scooter industry and scooter promotion and maybe how we can fix that going forward. If you've bought an electric scooter, then you probably know that it came from China or it came from a local retailer who bought it from China. And so the majority, I'd say 99% of scooters these days do come from China. So that's an important fact to know as we start talking about the industry here. And if you've watched any global news, you know that this year and last year even there's been a global supply chain meltdown that has caused a lot of shortages of shipping containers and issues with ports being totally backed up. And so all of this has affected these scooter brands just as much as any other import export company. So when you think about a scooter and you include the cost of shipping and everything in it, warranty, after sales, customer service, the margins on these are not actually as good as you would think, and I believe they're around 30 to 40% at best. When you factor in that there's hundreds of scooter brands now and there's very competitive marketplace, this leaves these brands with a decision to make of how much they're going to spend on advertising and marketing and how much they're going to spend on testing and development and how much they're going to spend on customer service and aftercare, making sure you're a happy customer. And these three items, it turns out, there's a lot of brands that will choose two of them. And so we'll go over those scenarios, and I'm not going to name any brands in this video or any specific scooters, but if you guys know the industry at all, you know what I'm talking about here with these issues. So if you guys don't know this yet, most of the scooters are pretty average, okay? And when you think about that most of the scooters are average, most of the scooters do have problems eventually. And it's usually not more than a season. You may have a problem during the season with your scooter in one way or another. And I think a lot of us accept that there may be a problem, but we buy because we know that we're getting good customer service, right? So if a company is invested in their customer service to the point where you can call them and get to talk to somebody, or you can live chat them, or whatever it is, you can get to somebody right away and you get an email response, that day. That's what you're looking for in good customer service. And the good customer service is why most of us do not buy directly from China, is because we know that we can get better customer service in our local country or in our area. So you think about the high competition, the thin margins, and these companies that may spend a lot on marketing. What happens? Well, of course, if you're spending on marketing, you're going to get a lot of sales, right? But you're selling average scooters. So what happens? They end up breaking down quite a bit. Then what happens? Your customer service that you didn't invest in is unable to handle the large number of customer service tickets. And so this has happened in a couple different companies this year. Like I said, I'm not going to name any names, but they invested a lot into marketing and they did well. They sold a lot of scooters, but these scooters, like I say, most scooters are average, and so they have issues. And so there's people calling and needing help, and they get backed up, and sometimes up to a week you won't get a response from some of these companies. And that's a big issue. This is a big problem when these companies are not willing to invest in the customer service and they're willing to keep investing in more marketing when they're being overrun. The reason this is a big problem for the industry itself is because people are going to buy these average scooters, have a subpar customer service experience, and write off scooters altogether and never ride one again. They're going to have bad experiences because you're setting them up for failure with this system of over marketing and under customer servicing. All this being said, there are several brands that are not dumping tons of money into marketing yet and are focusing on the other two that I mentioned. They're focusing on the testing and the development, and they're focusing on the customer service, which is really the companies that you need to buy from and support. Because yes, they may not have the full YouTube exposure or whatever, but they have the better product that's going to last longer and the better customer service that's ready to handle large amount of people calling, right? Whereas the other businesses, they can handle a large amount, but when that doubles, then what? Then that triples, then the marketing sort of takes over like an animal that they have to feed, and there's no way to give it any more customer service agents time because they just don't exist because they haven't hired them. What this creates, though, on social media is an overrepresentation of average scooters with heavy marketing budgets and an underrepresentation of well tested scooters with lower marketing budgets and better customer service, right? Which is what you want. So it's really almost a double edged sword coming to watch videos. Even I know I'm saying this as I'm sitting here, a YouTube reviewer, right? But it's almost a double edged sword to watch videos that you know that there's a lot of marketing going into them when is there the same amount of testing and the same amount of customer service of these other brands that aren't doing an insane amount of marketing? That's the question you really got to ask yourself these days, I think, in the scooter market is where is the clarity throughout a lot of these brands and a lot of this customer service issues? And it comes down to I see it all day on Facebook. On our Facebook groups, there's just endless complaints about different brands. Some brands never get complained about. Some brands constantly, every month, there's another guy that had a meltdown issue for whatever reason about this, that, or the other thing at this brand, that brand, or the other brand, right? There's still issues with a lot of these brands not having the customer service up to the level of, Apple, which is where we want to be, is insanely good customer service with a scooter that will get you there, right? We're not asking for perfect scooters from these companies. I understand that's probably never going to happen, not for many, many, many years. But for now, like, we want the best customer service experience so that people are happy to get their scooter, and okay, they might have to fix it once in a while, but that's not a big deal because their expectations were appropriately set. I've been thinking about this problem for a while, and the only real solution I can think of, at least for me specifically in my channel, is if I took all of the affiliate links off and just opened my channel up to run from donations only so that you guys could donate like $5 a year, and that would pay for one or two scooters that we could review very thoroughly and essentially get down to the bottom of what those scooters are. We could have a vote even to decide what the scooters were, so it would be more of a participatory system instead of me just working with a company and showing off a scooter to you. So if that kind of channel might interest you with, a lot of clarity of what's going on, because I think personally that is the most unbiased way to make a review video would be if you guys donated for it and we could even test it and then give it away after probably 2 months of testing. Anyways, thanks for listening to this little rant about the scooter industry. If any of you scooter brands end up seeing this, please invest in better customer service across the board. And also, please do extra testing, development before it reaches the customers because we do not like scooters being tested on us. As always, thank you for watching. Drop a subscribe. Scooter Gang out.